Hello, my dear friends. How is everyone tonight? It is May 14th, 2019, 9:45 p.m. And this is a continue video from what I made earlier today with my phone. I felt I owed it to you guys to get on here and give you more in-depth analysis of what exactly happened here. You can see with your own eyes, guys, this earthquake jolted a lot of areas. We have 7 current tsunami buoys going off. Now, keep in mind, before I get too far ahead of myself, the tsunami warning has been canceled. But they did issue tsunami warnings. People on cell phones got them, everything. They were expecting waves on this event. Thankfully, that did not happen. But when things like this happen, you'll be sure that I'm going to post it. And for the next 24 hours, you're going to see these buoys pulsing. We've had a video about this in the past where actually one shut down close to Puerto Rico after malfunctioning after a similar situation. But here it is. These are the buoys that were set off by that 7.7 in quotation marks 7.5 earthquake that struck Papua New Guinea today. And now what I want to do is something a little bit different. I do and have done this stuff on my channel before. I want to get back into it because it's just something else to talk about and learn about, and it is very important, and it affects our weather. It affects a lot of things, and that has to do with the sun. Now, really quick, before I get ahead of myself, once again, we have things called CMEs. Those are coronal mass ejections. We also have solar flares, which are a little bit different. They actually launch solar particles towards Earth. They get here very quickly. As you can see here, it takes about 500 seconds from the eruption of the sun to reach Earth. That is moving 300,000 kilometers per second. Try to wrap your mind around that really quick. 30,000 kilometers per second, a solar flare will take to get to Earth. And meanwhile, we all know, well, not all of us, some of us believe the sun is very far away, some believe it's close. We're not getting into that. We're getting into the scientific part of this about how these things are lining up perfectly and almost explaining why we are getting these massive earthquakes. Now, we had a 6.1 earthquake on the 12th. That was right here. This was Costa Rica. We made a video about this one. It was a 6.1, and it took place at 1924 UTC time, okay? These sun cams, they actually delete the previous data, so you get about a 2-day look at this. This is 2 days worth of our sun going into current time. Now, what you saw here, if I backtrack, you're going to see it says the 13th. I literally just missed the 12th, which would have shown the proof of the 6.1 quake. Right before that 6.1 quake happened, we had a solar flare erupt from the sun right here. You can see the remnants of it here as it has just updated its info. I wish I caught it. I can go back in the archives and catch it, but here it is. This was that solar flare that came out, and no joke, guys, it was about 8 minutes later that this earthquake, the 6.1, because this part of the country was facing the sun at the time, got hit with those particles. That is what caused this earthquake, in my opinion. It could have been pressure. It could be many sorts of things, but just the coincidence of this is getting too coincidental to not look at. Now, focus your attention onto the 7.7-7.5 earthquake that caused all these tsunami buoys to go off and all the alerts and everything like that. Whether there was damage or not, I do know that there were 2 injuries involved in this quake. Thankfully, that's all there was. With a quake this shallow, luckily it hit in a remote area, but still, it's not about the people, the injuries or anything like that. It's the fact of why these are happening and when we can expect them to happen again. Now, we've had this coronal hole on the sun for days and days and days now. It's been very active. It's been shooting off CMEs, like I said, are different. Now, the difference between a CME and a solar flare, let me get back to this. This was a solar flare. Now, you're about to see a CME, and that's going to come up right about now. That's a CME, and the reason I say that is because you can actually see it shooting out of this part of the sun as well. Now, this launches particles as well, but this type of situation takes 1 to 3 days. So what I'm trying to say is that this just recently happened after the major 7.7 quake, which means in the next 1, 2 to 3 days, we could possibly be expecting another major large earthquake, depending on what part of the earth is facing the sun, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm trying to explain this as I'm learning it, but this thing left the sun. Okay, we're going to do this one more time. This thing left the sun around, let's say, 0040 UTC time on the 14th. So now count 3 days, 14, 15, 16, 17. So between the 16th and the 17th, if we receive a significant earthquake or a bundle of fives in a certain area, we can use that data to prove that that is what caused that. Now, this would be the second time in a row within 1 week, which is why I wanted to show you these SDO cams. We have satellites that face the sun. We could watch them 24/7. There you go again. That was the remnants of the solar flare that caused a 6.1, and then that explosion there was the reason for the 7.7, or could be the reason that we see another earthquake of that magnitude, okay, if you guys are following. Now, again, I'm learning on my own too. I'm going to show you this one too. This one gives you a little bit more of an idea of what a solar flare or a CME is on this area. So we've already been through the solar flare, and this is going to be the CME. So I'm going to backtrack here, and you're going to see a big shootout from this area here. Boom, right there. That's what we call a CME. When you see these almost lava-looking bowed-shaped things shooting off the sun, those are CMEs. Those take a couple days to reach Earth, but when they do, they can impact the Earth just as a solar flare does, which takes 500 seconds, about 8 minutes. So, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that there is a direct correlation between the sunspots on the sun when they activate or go off, and if they are Earth-facing, we end up getting earthquakes shortly thereafter, whether it's 8 minutes after based on a solar flare, or it could be 1 to 3 days after based on a CME. Two different things could cause the same issues. So I want to make that clear. I'm getting better at this stuff, guys. My editing is going to get better. I'm going to be able to explain this in much better terms. I know there's plenty of YouTube channels out there that have this down pat, but you know what? That's not going to stop me. I want to learn about this stuff, and I want to supply this information to you guys just like they do. This is a passion of mine and Caroline's, and we're not stopping. So I want to read this real quick. A powerful 7.5 magnitude earthquake has struck off the coast of Papua New Guinea. Residents on the country's remote New Britain Island woke up to tremors in the middle of the night. With the shocks cutting power to homes, a tsunami warning for hazardous waves was issued for the Pacific Islands, but authorities believe the threat has now passed. Now, I mentioned that in the earlier video, but it was this crappy phone video I had to make. I had no choice, but I wanted to get the info out to you guys. So, with that said, here we go. These are the two biggest earthquakes we've had in the last 2 days, or 2 days, yes. So, the 6.1 was on the 12th, and the big 7.5 that we saw right here in Papua New Guinea was right after the that explosion off the sun, is what I'm trying to say. So, yes, I'm learning this as I go, guys. I apologize. You want to leave the comments in the section telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, go right ahead. I don't mind. But here we go. This is another thing I want to talk about as we're talking about space. And we can thank TypeX for this one. She sent me this one, and I was blown away because I had no clue about this because I'm just all over the place with so many different topics going on. NASA. Yes, I know. NASA. Take it with a grain of salt. Just pay attention. Asteroid tracker. A giant space rock will fly over Earth tomorrow. As in, yes, tomorrow, May 15th. Over Earth at 15,100 miles per hour. That's how fast these things work. A speedy asteroid barreling through space at more than 15,000 miles per hour, 24,000 kilometers per hour, will shoot past Earth after midnight tonight. NASA's asteroid tracker have shockingly revealed. Now, again, I don't want to scare anybody. We all know NASA likes to upbeat things and make things seem more than they are, but there's no doubt that there is a rock out there that's about to pass Earth. So I figured that was something you guys might want to know about. And just to top off this topic here, guys, in July of 2012, there are videos out there about this. The event produced significant aurora on Earth. This is called the July 23rd event. It was a mix of a solar flare, a CME, and a solar EMP all at the same time occurred but missed Earth, barely. And basically what they said was, had this thing held off about 8 hours and then happened, we could have been extinct off this planet. That's how close we were in July of 2012 to being no more. And that is just very interesting to me. I don't know the exact science behind that. I don't know a lot about that timing because I wasn't really on YouTube at that time. I was on another YouTube channel doing a whole different topic. But once again, a coronal mass ejection, a CME, is a significant release of plasma and accompanying magnetic field. That is very important because magnetic fields mess with our atmosphere, and that's what causes the tectonic plates to move and be messed with when the sun is so big compared to Earth. This wave hits Earth and it causes weather changes, it causes volcanoes, it can cause earthquakes, you name it. And they're finally coming out, even NASA's coming out and beginning to talk about how this is very much a possibility. For years and years now on YouTube, people have been talking about this. And a lot of times people had channels taken down, this and that. But it seems that the people at NASA are now finally agreeing with this, or at least allowing people to talk about it, which is what I'm very touchy on. I don't like posting things that I'm not allowed to post. I like getting data out to you, which is why I understand some of my videos may be a little boring when I'm just showing you text, but I'm trying to teach you guys things as I'm learning them. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Now, with that all said, I'm going to get into a little bit of weather here. Florida, you've been having a rough time lately, and I want to show you guys this exploding storm that happened that I also didn't notice. Surprise, surprise. But just check this out. So we had a big system move through Florida about 15, 16 hours ago, and then up in the Northeast, it's been cold, it's been raining. It finally just let up. I actually saw the sun today. I was just mesmerized, but you can see up here, we got snow, guys. There's snow in northern New York right now. Sorry, that was a refresh, but let me back this up, and I want you to focus right down in this area. In fact, let's just get closer. Here we go. This is Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Panhandle of Florida, and Georgia. Georgia, yes. So let's backtrack this, and I'm going to hit play, and I just want you to see how quickly this storm blew up the second it hit the warm Gulf water. And this is what I'm talking about as we enter hurricane season. So here we go. Watch this. Not too bad right now. Not too bad. Not too bad. And then here we go. The second it hits that warm water, these things explode into storms. And this is what we're going to be seeing in the Gulf during hurricane season. Rapid intensification of storms based on different things. That's upflow from the Gulf. That's west to east trade winds coming higher up in the air, about 30,000 feet. and then the mix with the warm temperatures and the moisture getting sucked up. This is how hurricanes are formed, guys. Now, if this were to sit here for a while, if there was some sort of stall or a jet stream front in front of this and this thing was able to sit here, there is a very good possibility that these storms would start connecting and then suck up wind from the ocean, the warm air, and then turn into a tropical depression, or at least an invest first and then a tropical depression, and then our next step would be a Category 1 hurricane. So the energy is here. The energy is way in the South Pacific already. We're more than likely going to see a hurricane there before we see one in the Gulf, but don't quote me on that as well. The point being is that we have a lot going on, not just as far as weather, but space weather as well. And I used to cover space weather a lot if you go back on my channel. In fact, BP Earthwatch, I've said this before, BP Earthwatch did something for me that he did not have to do, and it really got me rolling on YouTube, and I always thank him for this. I've not been able to get in touch with him lately because, he had a channel taken down, and he's working hard to get his work back up, so, maybe one day him and I can touch base again, and I could properly thank him. But, again, guys, the sun very much has to do with our weather here on Earth, and the more we know about this, the better. And the last thing I want to show you real quick is the CME, and I want you to understand the comparison to Earth as far as size goes with the sun. There's the CME right there. So here's the 12th, and again, this is what caused the 6.1 earthquake. You're going to see a big wave shoot out of the sun. This is the sun here. This disk here is actually being held by an arm by a satellite that is facing the sun. So this disk allows us to see what's going on around the sun. If this disk was not here, we would not be able to see any of these stars, and a lot of people use this to find asteroids and things of that nature. In fact, if I fast forward, you can catch asteroids all day, meteors, there's one right there. Boom, let's get that one on the screen. Perfect example. There it is. Here's one right here. There's one there. And then that one right there. I can't get that to stay. There it is. Look at that. That is a perfect example of a comet asteroid shooting past the sun, leaving a particle trail behind it. So this is a very useful website. But the point I'm trying to make here is right here. Watch the wave come out of here as I hit play. Right there. That wave took 8 minutes to hit Earth. 8 minutes later, we had a 6.1 earthquake. Now, with the CME situation, it takes 1 to 3 days. So we've had two CME waves, or solar flares rather. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. We've had two solar flares that have caused two major earthquakes. Now we have this major CME that has been released that is going to take 1 to 3 days to get to Earth, and that could cause also another significant amount of earthquakes depending on what part of the Earth is facing the sun at that time. So I hope I got that info out there enough to where you guys can understand it. Sometimes I get caught up, I say it all the time. My mouth or my brain works faster than my mouth can speak. So I got to work on that, maybe get like a speech teacher or something like that, because this is a very big passion of mine and Caroline's, and I want to get this stuff right for you guys, and that's important to me because some of my videos I'll post and 5 minutes later I get so many critics on there, which I don't mind at all. I welcome all. And I'll even respond to them, and I'll ask them what they're talking about, and we'll get into a conversation. Sometimes we'll resolve the issues, sometimes we won't, and we move on. That's what we got to do. But the fact is that this 7.7, 7.5 quake did a lot. It caused a lot of buoys to go off. It shook up a lot of area, and not only that, but this can loosen up other areas, other fault lines, which makes them weaker, which means if this situation were to happen again, we may be seeing more and more similar situations like this, guys. So with that said, that's what I wanted to get out to you. I hope you like the little intros I'm doing in the beginning. I'm trying to put a little more effort into these videos to keep you guys entertained. I know a lot of my stuff is reading and things that a lot of people just want to click off of, and I respect that. I totally understand. As I get better, hopefully people will spend more time watching the videos. We had a big year in 2017 because it was a big hurricane season. 2018 was okay, and then we got 2019 now to worry about, but that's not going to stop me, guys. I don't care if I get 100 views or I get 10,000 views. I'm making these videos every day as often as I possibly can, and we're going to have Caroline's channel up soon too, so we can double team you guys. So get ready for it. It's happening whether you like it or not. But for those of you that give us the positive feedback, and the Galactic Nomads and Deborah, and oh my God, I could name so many people that are just so supportive and just such amazing people. We can't thank you enough for what you guys do for us. But with that said, guys, I've drawn this on way too long. Bottom line is the sun definitely has an effect on us, and I will follow up on this video. I will have a weather update tomorrow, and yeah, we have a big asteroid that's about to pass Earth at over 15,000 miles per hour. Will we be able to see it? I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look into that. But I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart to stay true to our channel. And please, last thing, a lot of people have been messaging me about not getting notifications. My only advice is to do this. If you have already clicked the bell, unclick the bell as if you were not going to get notifications, refresh the page, and then re-click the bell, and you will get all our notifications. So we've noticed that more than half of our subs are not even getting our notifications. So that's a little discouraging. That's on YouTube's end. I can't do anything about that except for let you guys know that that is a way to fix it. So Paul, I believe, was very helpful. He mentioned that he was not getting notifications. And anytime you see him critique me in a video, guys, let him do his thing because he's actually helping me. So he's a good dude. Let him do his thing. As far as my buddy Chris, too. He's a very big help with the earthquake stuff that I've been doing. So, all right, that's enough, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll be back tomorrow, 5:15. And maybe we'll be talking about an asteroid that passed by Earth. If any of you are in a dark, dark area, do some research into this and see if we could possibly see it. And if you catch video of it, I will gladly post it on this channel for the world to see. All right, guys, thank you so much. Caroline and I thank you, and we will talk to you very soon. Have a great night. Bye-bye.